Good morning, beautiful people of Earth and all other interdimensional entities. Just realised my glasses are very schmutzig. I can barely see you, but I'm here behind my eyes. Ah, there you are. I hate glasses, but they're a necessary evil. I'm going to have to get some new ones soon. They've been a long time needing replacement. Things happen slowly in psychedelic dreamers world. I'm not even sure why I'm dragging my chain on that, really. It's a bit odd. It's really quite odd. Today is... Yes, it is. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I've lost a day. I'm right off my chops today. I'm not feeling very good. I don't know why. Sunday. And today is Sunday. So for the Christians, it's Easter Sunday. All the little Christian children have been busy all morning, no doubt, going Easter egg hunting, seeing where the Easter bunny left all their little treasures, right? Am I right? And Mama T went out, Mama T, that would be me, went out and dug up some little heliconia plants that I promised my neighbours Peter and Robin down the road. And they've sweetly invited me for pizza tonight for dinner, which was very kind because they know I'm on my own all the time. Wee, smallest violin. And it's kind of comical because he's raised Salvation Army, but he's got Jewish ancestry. So we find each other, us Jews or former Jews or renegade funk chain Jews. We find each other and they invite me for Easter, which is kind of peculiar, but never mind. I am a daughter of the gods and it's a big, big universe, and who am I to judge who delights in my company and who does not? And it's very sweet and endearing that, my friends include me and love me for all my quirky, multi-universal, interdimensional ways belonging to all that is, was, and ever shall be, with their foot firmly planted on the back of my neck most of the time. But one day, he'll let me have my one true love and my beautiful life at long last. One day, perhaps when I'm dead. It is what it is. Also, I'm very fussy about who I let into my world, so there probably were many, many opportunities that got sloughed off. There's that word again, sloughing the hell off, because, somebody triggered me the wrong way, or they said something unkind and I had another look at them and thought, won't be putting up with that behaviour when it starts so early in the piece. So I did a lot of pirouetting and dancing into the void, keep myself safe and sanguine and free, am I right? Preserving myself for the one. Oh dear goddess, the one might not even be a mortal man, may indeed be the Holy One I tattooed into my own flesh. Well, I'm okay with that. As long as they look after me appropriately and bless me with good food to eat and good drink to drink and safety and sanguinity, and surround me with people who treat me with kindness and honour and respect and sweetness and gentleness, and people I can enjoy life with and laugh with and be playful with and have fun with, and respectful, honouring ways, and people who vibe with me, my tribe, who understand my mystical ways, which are quite getting weirder as I age, people. My mother warned me that would happen though, that I would become more and more psychic and powerful in my abilities, because it's part of the aging process. It happens to everyone that happens to have, psychic abilities. But I've noticed in the last year, probably because my health's been so fragile, how bloody powerful I've been spiritually. I almost just have to think of something now and it manifests. Pity it doesn't work that way with money and financial success, but don't worry, in the appropriate time, even that might yet manifest in my life, with the help of the gods and the angels and my own stubborn, intrepid hobbit walk on planet Earth, my own determination and will. But let's see what I can make of myself when my health reaches equilibrium and I can actually push myself further and maybe achieve even more. More of what? I have no idea. I'm psychedelic dreaming, as I have always done since early childhood. Living the dream, baby boys and girls. Living the fucking dream. Sometimes it's a beautiful, glorious, sweet dream, being lulled in silver-lined clouds, surrounded by bliss. Unfortunately, for many decades of my life, it was a fucking nightmare without end. But all things must end, including me eventually. So, lulled in sweetness at the moment, thanks to my true loving friends, and I'm grateful and humbled and astonished, so astonished to be receiving so much love from you all, my earth angels and my sweetest of hearts. So today's readings, 31st of March 2024, the last day of March, hasn't that gone quickly, is entitled Intrepid as Ever. And I posted a meme, which is what I try to live by. Do no harm, but take no shit. Also, the Wiccan read I quite like too, and harm ye none, do what thou willest. But it's all open to interpretation. Human beings can be evil little monsters disguised as ordinary mortals sometimes. Sometimes they catch you unawares. You really have to listen to their words and observe their actions. Take particular note of how they treat the homeless or the blind or those unable to look after themselves. Take even particular note of those who would joyfully kick you when you're down and stomp all over you. That's how you know who is evil and who is unsafe to be in your life. (31st of March 2023). You couldn't heal because you kept pretending you weren't hurt. And I replied, denial is not just a long river in Africa. It was a long, long time in my 20s and 30s when I must have been in some kind of fugue state. Quite frankly, I was exhausted raising little children, surrounded by enmity at all times, including my in-laws being vicious. So I really couldn't heal because I was constantly under constant vitriolic, vicious attack. And it's part of why I decided to migrate here at 23, but it didn't stop when we migrated here. In fact, it got kind of worse. And it got worse and it got worse and it got worse, and then in the end I tried to die, and then gradually things got a little bit better, and the gods almost killed me off again with that gallbladder surgery. So really, quite frankly, it's only been 5 years, the last 5 years, that life started to improve, but then I had the harrowing horror of losing all my pets one by one. So it's been worse, and it got better, and then it got worse, and now I'm in the upswing again, hoping against hope that this upswing maintains its equilibrium and I get to live happily ever after. Anyway, it's a dream I keep dreaming, because what else have I got to look forward to, people? Nothing at all. 1:41 p.m. This afternoon, this is in 2023, people. This afternoon I feel an intense innovation, anxiety, excitement. I feel like ringing all my friends and babbling in their ear for hours. I can't. They are working. I did babble to Lynn for a short while, but she is busy also with her family. I'm sitting in the garden like a babbling, blithering brook circumvented by some damned dam, while beavers chew at their carefully contrived obstacles. But I just flow and flow. Feels like one of my nervous breakdowns. Sighs. Where will it end? I never know. Charlie is exploring the garden, so I am worried about snakes. Beauregard is watching the neighbourhood. I hear a loud sneeze. My neighbour Warren is out in his garden, probably quietly spying on me too. As he does, lol, wondering what the witch is up to next. Why, nothing. I overexpended my energy resources, ran out of money and motivation, so I'm succumbing to depression, as I do. I think I will go dancing tonight, even though I'm broke. I need the exercise. I need some fun before I die. I need to recalibrate my spirit. I want, I desire. Blech. I am battling an underlying fatigue and a resignation. But don't worry, there is a resourceful resurgence underlaying that. Right now, it's the loneliness I am tamping down. It's not real, it's ephemeral. I have all that I need and want from life. I fought long and hard for it. So, don't worry, be happy. I have been absorbing other people's emotions and motivations like a sponge. Time to shake it off, or harden my titanium exterior, or let it rinse through like a colander. I am not drowning, but waving, yeah? Yeah, baby. Sink or swim, or float like my unsinkable but evil perverted mother in her sarong, in her pool, her geriatric pubes fluffing like anemones, calling me to my own death. You shall not have me, Gisela. You, Dybbuk, from the 7th echelon of hell. Happy Passover, Tani. Passover. I was passed over all right. Passé, passed by, kicked to the curb, left to struggle in the shadowlands. But hooray, and up she rises, my neshama that knows it ain't over till it's over. There is more to love, and more to learn, and more to take delight in, and more to rejoice in, more and more, sometimes just barely enough. So what gifts the spiritual excitement, faith? In what? My own stupid self who keeps going even when it seems insane, too hard, impossible. So dance we shall. Mama T of Titania's realm now has all the tools for casting, except my new Smith Little torch kit. Still annoyed about that, by the way. I am also awaiting some embossing tools I ordered. The pastry pusher arrived this morning. I've been using a chasing hammer I bought recently, so it will be interesting to discover which works best or which I prefer. Craig Darbler recommends the pastry pusher. Kerry Lee Kane recommended the chasing hammer. I started using a normal ball peen. It worked well also. Actually, I like the chasing hammer best, I've decided. So I wasted my money on the pastry pusher, but doesn't matter. It can stay in my tool arsenal. Waste not, want not. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything. It'll just sit and remind me. Too many options, listening to too many different teachers means you acquire more tools than you need, but c'est la vie, baby. Part of the learning discernment process. So I feel floated on the vicissitudes of fate, as so many different tools and applications can run to a hell of an expense when all I need is silver or gold, a positive attitude, a resilience, and a stoic, mind-boggling, bloody-mindedness to be intrepid and keep going after every epic failure. Oh, and the most important part, to have fun and enjoy the process. On the subject of needing more gold, I met a man last year under rather unusual circumstances. It was, I went to Garden City and I had almost been slammed into by a truck and literally had my life wash in front of my eyes. Thought I was about to die, actually. It was that fucking close. So very triggered and traumatised. I still went to Garden City, which was where I was heading, to buy a few groceries and have a bit of a meal. And I met this very unusual man who just approached me straight up. I had all my witchy necklaces on and he knew I was sulking on that level that I'm witchy and alternative and metaphysical. It was a very weird encounter. Anyway, he didn't get fresh with me. He actually invited me back to his place, a caravan park nearby. He was a perfect gentleman, which I'm grateful for because it was really quite dangerous to go home with a virtual complete stranger that I'd only been chatting to for a while in a shopping centre. Anyway, he was a perfect gentleman, but he was nuts. He was quite nutty. But he suggested that got terribly excited, just me being in his presence. Well, it's my energy, I guess, and I'm a voluptuous looking, blonde in those days, blonde, and I guess you can't blame a man for getting excited, but he was lovely. He was a gentleman. I should have actually pursued something with him because he actually was decent. But I didn't want to lead him on because I wasn't all that attracted to him. But I thought, oh, maybe we could have been friends, you know. It did cross my mind. But then I decided, you know, I was still grieving my dog and I was off my fucking head. And I decided, no, I won't pursue friendships with people I've got no intention of being around in the long term because it's not fair and it's heartbreaking and it's cruel to do that, tease someone along. Had it done to me many times, so I know how that feels. But anyway, during the course of the 5 hours we spent in each other's company, he suggested that I get and this was very interesting, people, very, very interesting. So I mentioned that I'm casting sterling silver, melting silver and making things. He got terribly excited, probably thought that I had a means of making lots of money and be able to provide for both of us. Little does he know, Mama T, the universal schmuck, hasn't been able to sell her jewellery. So there is no money and there is no potential and it's all kind of fucked. But anyway, never mind, moving on. He suggested that I get a gold mining licence from the government and that he would go halves with me in it actually, which I didn't want to do that because again it involved some kind of commitment, financial merging into relationship. I didn't want to do that yet. I'm glad I didn't because, you know, Mama T. Mum, I'm a bit weird. I'm very self-protective now. I've been done over too many times by men. But anyway, he suggested we get this gold panning licence and go out to Warwick to pan for gold. I said, why not Gympie? He said, oh, you have more luck out at Warwick. He said, but you've got to be careful that you don't go on private property because they're all farmers and they will shoot you. Oh, that'd be my fucking luck, wouldn't it? I'd be completely oblivious on whose land I'm on and I'd get shot. But you know what? If you're a bit suicidal and you want to die doing what you love, I guess you'd do that, wouldn't you? But I'm not suicidal, darlings. I enjoy my life, bizarre that it may be. Anyway, so he got very, very excited and showed me his treasure chest full of treasure. And it was all old pennies and things he'd found, you know, around the traps and nothing of any real value. And I'm trying not to laugh at his treasure. I realised he was very childlike and trapped in childhood. It's called regression in psychiatric terms. And I was not well that day either, having almost been slammed by a truck, just coming out of my psychiatrist's office where I had my regular debrief too. And I was very raw, having just lost Beauregard. So it was only 8 days after losing Beauregard, and I was also raw, having been eased out of my regular spot at the casino by people I thought were actually allies and or friends. So kicked when I'm down yet again by malfeasant dogs. And the timing, you know, just when I lost my dog was evil personified, but it is what it is. So then the universe sends me this man who was mad keen on me, wanting friendship. Didn't really lay a hand on me, he was offering quite respectful friendship. But I couldn't go there. I just couldn't go there. So it's not them, it's me sometimes. And he was a bit loopy. He was. I mean, I'm a bit loopy too. You've probably figured that out by my YouTube channel. But there's loop de loop and there's potential danger just subliminally, just under the surface. And I'd already kind of noticed it. The neediness and the desperation and the need to control. I was like, this could go very, very bad. I had no intentions of going out bush with him alone, miles away from anything or anyone, where no one can hear you scream, because, you know, it could be dangerous. And anyway, But he got me thinking about getting my gold panning license. I haven't done it yet. It's about $80 a year for a single person and so much for a family. So we'll get a family one. We'll bring my friends and we'll go out together. My friend Jared has no intention of ever associating with anyone else that I know and love. He's so fucking reclusive and weird and a little bit possessive in his own weird little way. And my daughter's out of my life since September now, so. But you know what? I don't need a man to do things, to achieve things. I mean, it'd be nice to have a loving partner by my side that wants to live life out with me and enjoy my company by day and by night. Be a real, true, deep love to me, but it's the stuff of fairy tales. So, I mean, it could happen, but I don't wait for it. I don't hold hope in it. I just live my best life and see what pans out and prepare to be astonished and surprised by delightful things sometimes, you know. So anyway, I'm thinking about getting my gold. You've got to renew it every year, so it could be an expensive fucking exercise if I don't end up using it, right? But I'm thinking about getting my gold permit and then going around places and look for semi-precious stones too. Apparently in Glen Innes, if you're lucky, you can find sapphires and, you know, little bits of topaz. And I just want to start living my life, you know. Go prospecting, search for gold, because now that I've got the skills, I can melt the gold down, turn it into jewellery, and it'd be fun having my own freshly sourced gold straight from the earth. It'd be fun, it'd be delightful. So I'm thinking I might actually go ahead and do that, get my licence, my permit, and take myself on little day trips. I don't like to go and do things on my own though. I like to have a friend with me or somebody with me, just basically because I'm not supposed to drive more than 3 hours, and I'm not allowed to drive tired, by the way. And so I can only go for short little trips if I'm on my own, because I do get too tired, and it's the equivalent of drunk driving. It's dangerous to drive home in that state. It is potentially dangerous. You know, I haven't ever had an accident because I know with my sleep apnea to stay hyper-focused, right? But it's a risk. Your brain can just shut off on you one day and bing, bang, boom. So it is a risk. So I like to take a companion with me, a friend, or in the old days my daughter, when I still had a fucking daughter, for fuck's sake. And we used to go and do our little day trips to places like Mount Tamborine, my favourite place of all to go, Byron Bay, or my other favourite to go is Montville, and we'd have these little trips. But I've got no one to go with me for my gold prospecting, and for that you'd have to go to less, more out of the way places that are, if you break down you're fucked because you're miles away from everywhere, right? Australia, the land of the forever land. Anyway, not long after meeting that gentleman, and he was a gentleman actually, and I'm grateful for that, even though he was a bit loopy, he was a decent man. I met another Aboriginal man. He also suggested I go, no, wait a minute, was he Aboriginal? Yeah, I met someone, I can't remember who it was now. He also suggested I go bush and go gold prospecting. So that was 2 people hinting at that in the course of a few months. So I thought, perhaps it's a sign from my angels and my spirit guides that that's what I'm meant to be doing. Not that I necessarily will find any freaking gold, but just having a bit of fun and travelling around a bit and being carefree and seeing a little bit of Australia, you know, sort of stuck in my little hobbit home in Brisbane, feeling somewhat trapped at times and isolated. So I need to get with the program, start living my life more and, you know, going on little day trips and forays to places and just living fearlessly and free like I used to when I was younger. Just to take my kids to, you know, all sorts of little day trips to places and try and give them some kind of a fucking childhood. Oh dear goddess. And now where are they now, my beloved ones? Gone. And never mind. I'm okay. I can look after myself. I don't need them. I don't need anyone. So where was I? When all I need is silver or gold, a positive attitude, a resilience, and a stoic, mind-boggling, bloody-mindedness to be intrepid and keep going after every epic failure. Oh, and the most important part, to have fun and enjoy the process. And here's a photo, because I'm so proud of my silversmithing attempts, you know. It is cute how I try and try and try and try. All the little tools I gathered for casting silver. So some of them I found really good, really useful too. Do a wonderful job. Having the right tools and the right equipment to achieve things is crucial in silversmithing, but also emotionally too, having the right toolkit is crucial to get through life. Otherwise you just fucking struggle forever, man. Just forever and a day, constant fucking struggle. But I'm not struggling anymore. I'm driving my own chariot and enjoying my life at long last. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. 7:37 a.m. I have woken up from a series of dreams flowing into each other like badly eroded celluloid film tape. I have stomped with my arthritic joints into the kitchen. I have drunk a cup of tea. Still on the go, babies. No more tea today. I've had about 3 cups. I've got to limit it. It really messes with my bladder. I let the dog and Charlie outside. There is a beautiful light in the garden this morning. Golden streams of light, but so bright that it stabbed my still sleepy eyeballs, and I did not even have my glasses on yet. Ouch. But I looked around and thanked the gods, the Holy One and all manifestations, for this beautiful day. Where are you going, Charlie? I have lived in a hell loop on repeat for almost 6 decades, but I know it behooves me to express joy and gratitude in my survival, my thriving. Oh, how the spirits insisted I thrive in recent years. A distraction from other more urgent, terrorising times. A distraction from the general malaise and apathy of the general population who somnolently and silently comply with their own demise. Barely a whisper of dissent. I'll never understand that one. Never, as long as I live, will I ever understand that. Thank the gods for the Tanya, who awakened from her own blood-stained, shit-stained traumas just in time to hold her own sacred space ground while screaming into the deafening, oh my goddess, roar of the silent masses' complacency. That was massive, Charlie. That was just massive. My goodness. That was a big poopykins, Charlie. My goodness. Sorry about that. It was huge and it was dripping everywhere. But I will defy all attempts to lead humanity like lemmings to their own destruction. I have known a few rare, good, kind people in my life. Otherwise I would have sat back and let them all unalive themselves without a word, without a struggle too. There's a few people out there, still out there, that I would happily sit back and watch them. But life goes on, people. We've all survived by the will of the gods, and it makes no sense at all sometimes. Who shall live and who shall die? Who by fire, who by water? Who by government malfeasances? And who by their own courage to hold their ground? Who? But I am a future thinker. I wanted progeny, grandchildren, if not my own bloodline, since that seems no longer tenable, then healthy bloodstock for future generations. Yes, I wanted our children kept pure and untrammelled by mRNA violations on their immune systems, by the way. The psychedelic dreamer chooses life, even though most days I have barely existed. If not for my own sake, then for future children yet to be born. Keep your kids pristine, untrammelled by sexual abuses and concocted biolab weapons of mass destruction. For the love of all the gods, for our planet, for the sacred sanguinity of life itself. Did you listen? Did you hear me? Alas, no. So I grieve and cleave to my own life, never knowing what each day will gift me. But I fought every day, not just for me, but for humanity, in my small, insignificant way on Facebook and YouTube and vocal media, and it was rather muted and silenced and scorned. But I kept going, held my head high, and I have righteousness and sanguinity on my side. I can hold your gaze with a clear conscience. The gods know it. I know it. So yeah, this morning I dreamt of a former friend who was actually instrumental in saving my life after my suicide attempt in 2015. That was brought on by the most immense abuses, slanders and malfeasances that year. Hit me in every vector of life, and that event was a deliberate training ground by the gods, as they could not communicate with me till I was literally out of my mind and body in a fugue state for an entire day. I don't know exactly what the spirits were telling me that day, but I know now I was spared and cast back to earth for these very times. You did do another one, you little monster. To call out the bullshit as I see it and to keep calling it out until my very last breath. Yes, I know. You was a beautiful girl. Even though you do the lorikeet shit and Mum is calling you out on it, you're not going to stop shitting because you're a lorikeet, and that's the way of the worlds. The way of the worlds. Shits keep happening and we have to keep still cleaning it up. I know, you're so pretty. She says, say something nice to me, Mummy. You're so pretty and I love you. You're so pretty and I love you. I know. Then another stark, terrifying reminder in 2019. Oh gosh, another phone call and I can't, I'm in the middle of this. Oh, hang on a minute, people. Oh, she's gone, okay. Then another stark, terrifying reminder in 2019. You will be okay. She's being mean to me, that Charlie. You will be okay living in a hellscape of epic proportions, but you will be okay. I begged the spirits to take me. I can't bear any more suffering. It's been too long, too sadistic, too arduous. But they replied they would help me get through this. Just going to return that call quickly because I was offered a chance to go and see my elderly friend Elsa. So that may be what's on the agenda. Be back in a moment, people. Okay, sweet. So 4 o'clock? Okay. See you again, darling. Okay. Bye. Come here, Charlie. You can't go on the keyboard because then it turns us off. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that interruption. Yeah, had to organise what time I'm going to visit my elderly friend who is 94 and not really conscious anymore. So we're going to go this afternoon, late this afternoon, in the hope that she might be awake in the afternoons. So it's hard because, they keep them doped out of their skull in those homes when they reach a certain stage of their dementia. So you go there and they're actually not conscious, and you can't rouse them because they're doped, quite frankly. But we'll see how we go. As I said to my friend Peter yesterday, it doesn't matter if she doesn't know we're there. We know we're there, and her spirit knows we're there, and it's just about that. It's painful to see them in that state, but it's important. Don't abandon your family when they're vulnerable and they're on the slow decline to death. Like my family have already demonstrated how shitty and poorly they'll treat me when my time comes. It was a good little test, actually. I didn't do it to test them. I really did think last September that I was on cactus, but fortunately I've since found out I'm wrong about that. Just feel unwell most of the time, but I'm not dying. I'm not dying just yet. And there's lots of things I want to achieve. I want to make love to a beautiful man who adores me again. If I can find someone willing, able, and present and accounted for and genuine next time. And I want to build my little silversmithing hobby into something nice. Maybe it might take me 5-10 years, but I want to grow that exponentially, one day at a time. Sweet Moses. I want to get healthy again, well, relatively healthy. I want to live fully and vibrantly, and I might even go and do my little gold prospecting malarkey one fine day. I want to engage with life. I want to be surrounded by people who value, cherish, and adore me. I want. So I'm not dying. I'm not dying at the present moment in time. I'm just still very tired, and it may even be the effects of the medication from my bladder. Went to bed early last night, which is unusual. That's how wrung out and tired I felt. So it is what it is, and hopefully in a few months' time, I will start to improve and feel better when I get regular sleep and get myself sorted. Please God. Anyway, where was I? When the spirit sent me back after that last surgery, telling me you'll be okay, but you'll be living in a hellscape of epic proportions, which was just prior to the COVID thing coming out in early 2020. So the spirits that were communicating with me at that event did not lie. They were completely accurate, and that was astonishing too. And I'm grateful when they don't feed me little lies and fairy stories and have me chasing down rabbit holes of illusion and delusion, especially when it comes to my love life. I need safety, I need stability, I need consistency, I need a man of real heart, body, mind and soul to choose me and be real with me, because it's no good running around in circles hoping for people to love you that are incapable of it, or sadistic, or cruel, or absent, But life is weird, people. You can't always control who you fall in love with. It's one of the cruelties of fate, as you can fall deeply in love with people who are completely unavailable and absent. And anyway, life is beautiful. I've outlived all my expectations, and I'm ready to open my arms wide and embrace all the goodness and magic and wonder and awe that I manifest from within my own soul, but that is reflected back to me and brought back to me in bliss and harmony and peace and joy, because I'm seeing it in the last 6 months. All the faces lighting up for me and reflecting back to me all the love I've long yearned for since infancy. It's almost like it all happened all at once, which has been a bit confronting actually, when when all your love spells you ever did manifest in one go, and you're like, wait a minute, this is too much to handle, I'll have to step back a little bit and pedal as fast as I can. But love is love, people, and I'm grateful for the true, authentic love that's been expressed to me the last 6 months. Anyway, as I write here about the spirits telling me that I would be okay, and they replied they would help me get through this, which they did. They did, my spirit people, help me get through this quite astonishing ways. Even my Māori cousins and sisters coming to communicate with me in 2020 in most astonishing ways, speaking to me in old Māori, which I don't speak Māori. So that was a bit hard to try and interpret what it is they were trying to, guide me and encourage and motivate me with. Blessings to them. Aroha nui wherever you are. Te hui hui nā. And parata. So I have powerful spirits in my team, and I still don't understand why they picked me to communicate with instead of their own great-granddaughter, but it is what it is. They were true to their word. I had a lot of help. I had frenetic, inspired desires to become a jeweler. That has been a form of insanity. That, at the height of the COVID mandates and lockdowns, my psychiatrist termed manic denial. As well, everyone around me lost their heads and thought they were going to die of COVID, I got busy making jewellery. And I would just say, we're all going to die, but not today. Don't buy into the bullshit programming. Don't be fed fear. Be fed hope. Be fed joy. Be fed life force. Be fed love. Don't listen to the doom and gloom and fucking idiots. But there were so many. It was legion. It was everywhere. We were immersed in it. And Mama T, allegedly, went into manic denial. However, I denied nothing, but I worked until my hands seized up and all bled. I worked even when I accidentally smashed my left hand with a 2-pound mallet, for which you can still kind of see a slight shadow, as I wouldn't go to the hospital, as I knew I wasn't safe in that fucking hospital. So I screamed a lot in agony and rolled around the back garden for about 10 minutes in agony and then pulled myself together. Wasn't going to go to that hospital. The bruising never quite healed. The pain was incredible, but I did not go to the hospital as I knew they were compromised and run by alien death cults. Literally. Death cults that felt to me quite alien and not quite human. Yup, they threw away my patient file, but I did not discover that until my bladder started to play up seriously enough this January, so that was January last year, for me to finally go to that murderous, insane hospital. Funny that. The same place that installed the TVT tape in me in 2007 that created all that damage I had to crawl back to try and get treatment from them. And what did they do? Sent me home to die, telling me to live my best life without any treatment, without any proper investigation, nothing. This is how evil our medical system is now. Well, I dreamed of Julie Goddard. That's my friend who came to save me when I was actually had attempted suicide. She was squatting down on a beach, her red hair now flecked with grey, tied back in a braid. Her legs out in front of her were extremely thin, so thin she looked like a fragile bird sitting on that beach. I wanted to yell at her that although beautiful as always, she needs a good meal. But I was an observer. She could not hear or see me. I asked myself, what is she doing on that beach, alone and so very fragile? The dream showed her raising up a very expensive camera. She was taking photographs. I felt relieved. She is okay then. In real life, she is a talented photographer. In real life, she tended to be underweight too. But she is okay. The dream said so. Then the dream shifted to other dreams, but they are slipping away from me now. The most important one was seeing Julie on that beach. I too crave the sea. When I fix my brakes, I will be going to the beach, but by then it will be autumn, and I have missed an entire summer. Same goes for this year again too. Jared and I are planning to go to Byron after my birthday. I think on Sunday we talked about it. Mama T needs Byron. I need the ley lines. I need the sea. I need the beach. I need to heal. Unfortunately, it'll be autumn and the water will be too cold to swim in, so I'll just paddle my feet, but it doesn't matter. I haven't been back to Byron since before the COVID epoch started in 2020. So it's time. It's time I went to my Zen zone and splashed about on the beach like a child and, de-stressed and earthed and purified my spirit. No wonder, here I wrote, I have not gone swimming once. No wonder my soul is desiccated. She misses the sea so much. But I have hyper-focused on jewellery, hedonistic trinkets that kept me from the sea, that kept me safe in my isolated little world. Everything has a reason and a season. 31st of March 2022. Yesterday's hefty depression has lifted somewhat, but today I've been smashed like an avocado on a yuppie toast breakfast by tummy issues. Then it hit me, along with the purging. Yuck. I had fish and chips on Tuesday evening for dinner, as well as vanilla slice for lunch. My poor liver can no longer process dairy or fat or too much sugar, so it threw it out of me in a decisive act of survival. Eat shit, you die, and if you don't die, you will feel as though you are already dead and reanimated like a corpse on steroids. This was the gift of the poisoning I received from HRT as well. It's not all dietary. That hormone imbalance cost me my gallbladder as well. So now I must rest and cut out deep-fried foods. It's a shame, as I rarely eat fish and chips anymore, and I thoroughly enjoyed them, but the effects are too devastating. I will learn the hard way, I suppose. Indeed I do. 31st of March 2021. I sprained my right wrist yesterday. I don't know on what, but it hurt to pull up a few weeds, and I was unable to use my hand much today, sanding back the timber cabinet doors, which was annoying as I am right-handed, but I managed it anyway. Now my wrist is extremely sore. I wonder what caused it. It just started hurting yesterday, out of nowhere. I suppose it's a touch of arthritis in the wrist. What you doing, Charlie? Come here. Come here, Charlie. No, come here. Come. Stop being a weird little bird. Get up here. Up. That's it. Off the perch. 31st of March 2020, 11:11 a.m. Make a wish. 10:08 a.m. Another beautiful morning in paradise. Paradise, oh dear goddess. 2020, hardly paradise, but we didn't know what was ahead of us just then either. I'm sitting outside with Charlie and Beauregard eating Greek yogurt with jam as I stupidly bought unsweetened yogurt with some noble but idiotic idea of baking something with yogurt in it, which has not eventuated. Charlie is enjoying the yogurt too. I'm looking forward to Lynn coming over today. It's been a while since I have seen her. Yay! I have no visitors except for Pete and little Coco dog popping past to play briefly with the bow, which is sweet of him. Facebook keeps me entertained and often traumatised by constant news updates, so it's nice to see an actual human occasionally. The last time I had communication from Crystal, she sneered at me about my abandonment issues, then went right ahead and abandoned me. She is good at that, projecting her shadow. Lol. But I might frequently feel abandoned, but I am also resilient and courageous and focus my love on those beings that value me. Otherwise, I would have given up and died for real years ago. I'm so used to being alone that it is not actually distressing to me. I find dealing with other humans who are toxic much more distressing, such as life. Here she goes, another massive one. Oh my goodness, Charlie. Oh my goodness. So what happy thoughts can I aspire to today? Seeing my beautiful friend Lynn, enjoying my garden and my non-human beloveds, breathing light and life and love back into a zombie apocalypse world. You know, stuff. 31st of March 2019. A gorgeous day. I got out of bed with my pinched nerve above my right buttock that I earned from dancing wildly for 2 nights. I took the bow and Mr. Charlie, now Ms. Charlie, for a walk in the warm, balming sunshine. They loved it. It did us all good to be outdoors after the few days of constant drizzling rain, which I also rejoiced in, as it was much needed, balance restored. Beautiful days like today remind me that life is worth living and fill me with anticipation, Twitterpation, for a more loving and kinder future. Silly, really. The gifts of nature that ennoble us, yet we so often take their messages for granted. 31st of March 2018. Big, luscious moon outside, the light that lit the way for the children of Israel on their journey from Egypt to Canaan, 40 years in the wilderness. Gewalt. I have left my own wilderness. Ow! Why are you doing that? And still pursuing the promised land of Byron Bay, bliss, true love, abundance, peace, whatever manifestation the gods and Creator decrees. Yesterday I was roiled with severe anxiety and a desperate craving. Hopefully the spiritual awakening will end soon. I am exhausted from the constant power surges and centrifugal cast-offs. I eagerly await the next phase of my existence. So sick of liars, stalkers, rapists, and psychic vampires. Still going out tonight, where I shall see one of every description. Don't worry, I will not be feeding la louche, fermez les bouches. Shut your mouth, that means. Jenny and I have dancing to do. It's a beautiful morning. I'm going to take Bobo for a much needed walk. Turned that into a meme. Mama T always and forever surrounded by love. It's a hobby, people, like pulling wings off flies. Mama T always praying and hoping, generating and soaking herself in love, aroha nui, amor, liebe. It's constant. I woke up this morning at 8:11 a.m. feeling calm and mentally clear. It was a huge relief, as yesterday I was beset with such heavy anxiety. So much so that even cleaning my house was arduous, and I had to push through my mental instability to complete the task. I almost resorted to taking a Valium as it was such a firestorm of emotions and lasted most of the day. There were moments I just wanted it to end. But like a stormy squall blown out to sea, it has passed for now. I feel incredibly mortified and scarified. Crystal's cruelty to me when I was choking and coughing has cost me dearly. I am grief-stricken and still traumatised. But you know, I never ever had any true love connections in my life, and I was a fool to keep hoping for it. But my lungs are slowly healing, and that I'm coughing less frequently, and the coughing bouts are less emphatic. I need to regroup, get Crystal's stuff out of my house, and get rid of my excess accumulations, and disappear into the sunset. But we all know that won't happen. No money, poor health, isolation. Only way out of this turgid, fetid mess is death. I hope I have turned a corner and can look forward to a nicer, more integrated life. Something radical has to change, and that must come from me. I don't know how I'm ever going to have the life I prayed for, but in the meantime, I'm sitting in my garden with Beauregard and Charlie, happy and grateful for the silence and the serenity of this sacred space, and feeling humbled and gracious to be even alive, a life I have fought so very hard for. 31st of March 2017. My Mushu just came home, been gone 4 nights. Yay! Not feeling very well right now. I had a nap too. Must be another storm coming. I feel pressure in my pineal gland. Or is it a blocked sinus? Winky face. Haha. My 3rd bedroom door, which has been swollen for about a year and doesn't close properly, is slamming shut, i.e. closing like a normal door. So either the house has moved slightly with the big wet, or the moisture in the air has made the timber more supple. Scratching my head. Can't work it out, lol. 5:17 a.m. Very humid morning. Wind still strong outside. Strange cloud formation to the east pre-dawn. Bobo wanted out to go to the toilet. Now he won't come back in, 'cause bone, mama. He had a bone outside. So I went back to bed to let you know the weather event is not quite over yet. 31st of March 2016. I am going through a tumult of emotions. So there's a theme there. Nearly every day on this day, it's the Easter holiday. Shit. Holidays send me troppo. I don't know why that is. I really don't. Other people are happy with their families and friends and rejoicing, and I lose my shit, right? That's probably what it's about. So it was kind of my neighbours down the road to invite me to spend time with them and have dinner with them tonight. 31st of March. Oh yes. I already read that. Dear Goddess. I'm going through a tumult of emotions. Sad, angry, excited, ready to move forward, but stuck in the quagmire of the past. Feeling love in my core, but dealing with issues of poverty and rejection. It feels like a churning washing machine. I am being cleansed, I guess. Some days the drugs just don't help, okay? I want to run screaming, my hair flying in the wind. Oh well, such is life in the desert. And 31st of March, 3 months later, I was off all my psych meds because, as I said there, the drugs just weren't helping people. They were doing me no good at all. And if I'm going to be emotional and run with my hair screaming, I want my mind to go along with me for the ride, not be left in some vague brain fog of pharmaceutical poisoning, by the way. My sister was right about one thing, although she said it to me as an act of dishonour and disrespect, but there was a certain truth to it. A mind truly is a terrible thing to waste. Take your cognition and your intelligence and your wits with you wherever you go. People might not like you for it when you're fully present and accounted for in your own mind, but That's your superpower, people. Don't cede your mind to anything or anyone. They don't like it too fucking bad. Still coughing, so over this. I still have a repeat of antibiotics, but it is a dry cough, just irritation. And I posted an article, Paddy Duke died of the most common condition you've never heard of, sepsis. I nearly died of this after stepping on one of Bella's bones in 2012. The wound site went very red and swollen. The pain was bearable, but my nurse friend sent me straight to hospital. I had put up with the pain for 3 days. They admitted me right away and gave me IV antibiotics. At the time, the IV canister hurt more than the foot. It was like razor blades every time they administered another dose. I was not on any pain relief, but was in such an altered state. I actually saw an indigenous family of spirits around a campfire. They comforted me and told me I was going to get well again. When I told the staunch Catholic male nurse, he threatened to put me in the psych ward if I mentioned seeing spirits again. An unbeliever. I said the hospital was built on tribal lands. He argued with me. Later, Jared told me that my vision was true. There is a cottage on the Princess Alexandra Hospital grounds that is a museum that honours the original landowners. I should check it out sometime. I have been devastated in hospital. I had been devastated in hospital as my daughters refused to visit me. Jasmine incommunicado as usual, and Crystal had no money for the bus. Jesus, it's just putrid. An elderly dementia patient took pity on me in the ED and gathered 2 blankets, one he folded up for a pillow and one to cover me. He did not speak, but motioned for me to lift my head. He had lost language, but not lost how to nurture people. I cried long and hard, as in that moment he had been a more loving father than I had ever known. Advanced Alzheimer's, but he cared for me lovingly. Perhaps I reminded him of his own daughter or sister or niece. He sure as shit made up for my awful, uncaring, biological family. This proved to me that there is still love in the world. I have always relied on and been blessed with the kindness of strangers and with beautiful friends, without whose love and devotion I would have suicided years ago. There is nothing more tragic than being totally alone and abandoned and isolated, which is why I have many pets, which I don't have them anymore. They've all gone one by one by one. Only little Charlie is left with me now, and the 2 goldfish in the front pond, and the wild possums and birds and bats that come to my garden, and the lizards occasionally too, and scrub turkeys. It's all that's left me. I knew from early childhood what it means to be neglected and abused. So I put all my love into beings that love back. 31st of March 2019. Today I got my hair done and almost slept through my hair appointment. I had to rush to dress and drive like a maniac to get there. Lol. Funny. Then after I went to visit Gail and Christina and Talia, I read my tea leaves and was surprised to see a huge griffin near the bottom of my cup. Huge protection and luck, methinks. Near the top of the cup was what looked like heaps of birds flying en masse. It's so weird, but I took photos of it as I'm trying to work out what the portents mean. Lol. Now I'm home and eagerly awaiting Vikings at 8:30 p.m. on TV. I am feeling relaxed and happy after my big weekend out, so it would be nice to just sit and watch TV for a change. Tomorrow I'm having afternoon tea with my darling Heather. Never mind. Then after that, I will be helping Crystal schlep stuff to her new abode. Oi, moving house gives me the heebie-jeebies. Better her than me. Creature came and picked me up and took me out to dinner at this lovely Korean, or was it Japanese, restaurant in the city. It was yummy. Then we went to Irish Murphy's and danced wildly to Wasabi, who were belting out some epic tunage. Normally I can't feel my feet. Tonight I can't feel my legs. Laughing my ass off. I had a fantastic time. I'm so grateful for my beautiful, amazing friends who are so generous and kind to me and whose company I truly relish. Not knowing how they were going to all turn like rabid dogs on their Irish Murphys, am I right? Bastards. But here I am, still in denial. Life is truly wonderful, and I am so fortunate to have lived to enjoy such mad revelry, wonderful, gorgeous friends, and my daughter. Crystal is bringing my car back tonight. Tomorrow I'm off to my hairdresser to get refreshed. 31st of March 2013. I got up at 2 p.m, threw on gardening clothes, took my meds, had a cup of tea, then lurched ad hoc into my African tulip tree to trim some overhanging branches. I used a step ladder, hooked my long gypsy skirt into my knickers, kicked off my thongs, jandals, then climbed higher up and struggled and battled with a higher branch. I sweated so much with the effort that my hair was wet as well as my clothing. The air was humid and there were cloudy skies. When I finally got the branch to fall, I spent some lovely moments catching my breath and looking up into the treetop, and just loved the energy and the resonance of the tree and the earth. It was beautiful. Then I climbed back down, dripping with sweat, and began shredding the leaves and twigs into my compost. My hens happily kicked and scratched the compost heap, and Bella lay on the top watching and waiting while I worked also. Then the most delicious storm came, and I worked at the branches in the compost heap until it got too dark to see and the rain became very heavy. I laughed as Bella and I ran inside to see Penny cowering. Penny was my she was kind of a brindle cat, kind of a tortoiseshell colouring. No, she wasn't tortoiseshell, she was more tabby really. She had lots of browns and through her fur. Anyway, she was a beautiful cat. I laughed as Bella and I ran inside to see Penny cowering in the laundry, too scared to come out in the rain and lightning. So I chased her out, locked the door and opened the back door for we three to be snug and safe and warm inside. Then I took a shower and I feel fantastic. Even my lower back pain has eased. So I did all that crazy lopping of tree branches down with a bad fucking back, people. I must have been right off my head, or as my beloved psychiatrist calls it, in manic denial. 31st of March 2012. I slept until 2:30 p.m, got dressed, went out in the garden, wove my jasmine vine into Mum's memorial chair that was too weak and sweaty to stay on my foot, so I had to sit down to work on the vine. This is like when I'm just recovering from that septic arthritis incident. Then I picked a cup full of raspberries, had to do that sitting, so still in recovery mode I guess. It was a lovely sunny day, so I got some rays at least. And my beautiful friend Jared wrote, "Stop running around the yard, woman. By all means go outside and sun yourself. But you were still sick. Your fever yesterday should have told you that. Lol. Glad you got so many raspberries. The vines are looking nice and healthy. How is the grapevine doing? I'll be doing a marathon mowing effort on my personal jungle tomorrow. Then to tidy up the gardens tomorrow. I plan on digging in and transplanting a few plants on Monday. I might drop by and pick up a couple of banana tubers if the offer still stands. Oh, and my other heliconia popped up in the garden this week. How do they do with transplanting? I'd like to move them to be the understory to the garden that will have the bananas. Sure thing on bananas. I didn't run in the yard. I hobbled, bent over vines, broke into a sweat, so sat down to work on it. Then I flushed the worm farm, then came inside to put my foot up and chatted on PAL for a while. Now tired from that, but okay, and I'm taking things slow. See you tomorrow for a cuppa and bananas. It was nice cuddling my favourite hot dog, Harvey. And Jared replied, I'll be mowing tomorrow. We'll come for the nanas and cuppa on Monday. Sorry for the confusion. And my friend Heather wrote, thinking of you, hope you heal quickly, kiss Nort. And I replied to Jared, heliconias are hard to transplant, but I managed to move some, so go for it. Dig around the roots and tubers. (31st of March 2011). I had a pleasant day with visits from several friends, Lynn and Annette in the morning and Gail at night. I even found the motivation to take Miss Bellarosa for a quick walk in the forest. She hates the forest, but it was just before dark and lovely and cool. Better than nothing, I reckon. Poor bloody dog. 31st of March 2010. I've had a very traumatic 2 days. Found out the evil stepsisters have brought a will to light, and I will now have to contest whatever is in said will, and am expected to pay a private solicitor to locate said will. They withheld it, the bastards. They were the most putrid, disgusting, low-life scum entities. To this day, I hope they rot in hell, and their progeny as well. Fuck 'em. So I've written to a no-win, no-pay lawyer and hope to God that they take my case. That was another travesty as well. I am so sick of having to fight for what is mine by right. 31st of March 2009. There's no textbook on sanity. Copyright Tanya Aarons to her psychiatrist. I said that to my elderly psychiatrist, Dr. Don Eastwell, and we laughed and we laughed and we laughed. I even got it made into a t-shirt I was going to give to him as a gift. I wore it myself. There's no textbook on sanity. There's only books on dysfunction and mental disease and dysphoria and discombobulation and if nothing else, my 3 weekly debrief always generates interesting throwaway lines, laughing out loud. We did laugh a lot, Don and I. We laughed through a lot of my traumatic debriefings. And you know what? It was the most healing thing we could do at that time. I mean, I was on very fucking hefty psych meds at that time period too. Very fucking hefty. So hefty I drawled and shuffled and grew to 103 kilos and had an involuntary Parkinsonian jerking of my right arm, and the old man put me on Cogentin and gave me too high a dose, and I was blind for 4 days. After that I needed glasses, but I didn't resent or hate him. Any idiot could see he was getting too old, and it wasn't done maliciously. It was just one of those things. Quite frankly, the chemist should have picked it up when they filled the script that it was too high a dose. So they were all fucking negligent. But they shut down the old man who was my main support in that time. Literally shut him down overnight. I went to go to my next appointment and everything was closed, and his receptionist hadn't bothered to inform any of his patients that he was no longer practicing. So we all got a nasty shock, and some of us who were a bit emotional and vulnerable and depended on our support network, like me, had another fucking breakdown because of that lazy fucking white privileged prestigious fucking, did I mention lazy bitch? What would it have cost her before they shut down the clinic to ring every patient and say, don't bother coming to your next appointment, Dr. Eastwell's been shut down by the medical board and can't assist you anymore. But why did they just do that? Just left us all hanging. I don't blame Dr. Eastwell for it. He was elderly and got taken out of his hands. But that was malfeasant how that was managed. It was really awful. Anyway, it took me about 6 months, but then I was able to become the patient of my current psychiatrist, who, like Don Eastwell before him, is a wonderful human being. And we don't laugh through all my therapy sessions like I used to have with Dr. Eastwell. Sometimes we do, but we have talking therapy. We've had talking therapy for the last 13 years, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that he supported me back in May 2016 when I said, I'm going off all my psych meds. They're not healing me. They're killing me. And he reluctantly agreed. And then after a 3-month review, he said to me, Tanya, I apologise for keeping you on those drugs. You're the best you've ever been. And frankly, probably should not have been put on them in the first place. But it is what it is. I healed my mind, my body, and my spirit in rather astonishing and unusual ways. Some of the greatest healings happened on my dance floor, being shamanic, or as I joke, shamaniac, dancing in my own space to the point of exhaustion where I literally leave my body, and then in comes the downloads and the healing from my higher mind, or God and all manifestations. And it's terrifying and confronting sometimes to watch, but it's also magical and beautiful and powerful indeed. And the dance continues to this day, even though I get very tired now from it. It needs to still be happening. Once a week. I won't do 2 nights again for a while. It was too much for me, given the current state of the old bod. But we're doing fine. This body and I, we're holding it together. We're staying in love with those who love us back. And we're excited for our future. For the first time in our lives, truly excited for our future. It's astonishing, and it's magical, and it's powerful. And on that note, we end today's readings of Even Date. Blessed be to my true beloved friends, family, doctors, supporters, and those of you who stumble across my offerings on YouTube, my 65 subscribers. Blessings to us all. Hold your line. Stay happy. Stay wild. Stay free. And stay in love with our earth and with each other. Bye for now.